Welcome to Lessons for Life, where we seek to learn, love, and live the Word of God. Now, here is James Long Jr.
Hey, welcome back. So now you've had an opportunity to do some review of some questions. We wanted you to ask yourself the primary question: what is my problem? What is driving me to this situation right now? And I wanted you to look at some questions underneath that big question. And the three big questions I wanted you to ask yourself was this: what do I want to change? And remember, I asked you to grab a journal and get a pencil or a piece of paper and really prayerfully go through these questions. What do I want to change? I wanted you to look at physical, emotional, mental, relational, spiritual, academic, career, whatever it may be, financial. I want you to come up with very clear plans of what it is that you wanted to change. Then the second series of questions I wanted you to ask yourself is, why do you want to change this? It's so important. You remember we talked about people who begin a resolution at the beginning of a new year, and they fail that resolution after a week or two because they have not gotten to the proper motivation. We're going to be talking about that in this series as well. And then I asked you to look at what hinders you and stops you from changing. Today, I would like you to consider this. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 5, Jesus said a very interesting thing. He says, "Judge not, lest you be judged. For in the way you judge, you will be judged, and the measure you use will be measured against you. Why do you pay attention to the speck that is in your brother's eye, and do not pay attention to the log that's in your own eye?" And he called us a hypocrite when we do that. So I want you to go on what some people have called a log search. See, what we have a tendency to believe is that judgment is wrong, and that's not true. There is a biblical form of judgment. We have to have a biblical standard, there has to be a biblical motive, and there has to be a biblical goal and plan in our lives. So when we use a biblical standard and we look into the Word, what we're supposed to do is not look into the Word for somebody else primarily. We're supposed to look into the Word for ourselves. And as we look into the Word, as we evaluate our thoughts, our words, our attitudes, our actions in light of what we see there, we will find oftentimes that there are a number of logs. Jesus had this wonderful gift for using examples from life, and he's saying that, you know what, your friend has a speck of dust in their eyes almost, but you have a 2x4 sticking out of your own eye. Well, it makes no sense for you to try to clean out the speck out of your brother's eye when you've got a 2x4 sticking out of your own eye. First, deal with the log, Jesus said, and then you will be able to see clearly to deal with the speck in your own eye. So when you do this, I need you to be precise. I need you to go through very honestly and say, here are the things of where I have sinned against God or others. I want you to be as detailed as you possibly can. Be honest, be serious, but take responsibility. Don't shift the blame to anyone else. And what Jesus said is this, that as you do that in Matthew 7, you look at the logs, he says, now you can see clearly once you've dealt with them, and then we're called to then help our brother or sister work through their struggles as well. So that's our next step in the process. Blessings.
This has been Lessons for Life with James Long Jr. We hope you've been blessed. For more information, go to jameslongjr.org.